Three's coverage of Old Spanish Days is brought to you by Morales Law, Rio Vista Chevrolet, the Shumash Casino Resort, Gold Coast Toyota, Coastal Valley Roofing, and the Ensemble Theater Company. Live from Santa Barbara's beachfront, exclusive coverage of El Desfile Histórico, the historic Fiesta Parade. Now, here's Beth Farnsworth and CJ Ward.
Good afternoon, bienvenidos, and welcome to El Desfile Histórico. I'm Beth Farnsworth, coming to you live from Cabrillo. This is Santa Barbara's, of course, historic equestrian parade. To my left, Tom Peterson, Vice President of Santa Barbara's Carriage and Western Art Museum. To my right, of course, CJ Ward.
Yes, and we are broadcasting live from Cabrillo Boulevard, right at the base of Stearns Wharf, and sitting next to me, 2023 El Presidente David Bolton. Thank you very much for joining us. We love it when you guys are here to give us some insight into everything
Absolutely.
We're going to enjoy today.
It's always a pleasure. Friday during Fiesta, one of those special days in Santa Barbara. And as we look down Cabrillo, it looks like the parade will be here before we know it, and we're so excited.
Beautiful day. We could not ask for nicer weather. You can see people, just throngs of people lining both sides of this historic corridor in Santa Barbara along the waterfront.
Yeah, just a beautiful ocean breeze. I think we get lucky every year with the weather down here. So just sit back and enjoy it. We have a great afternoon, early afternoon, a beautiful parade, and some great carriages. Dom's down there dying to talk about these carriages we're about.
Oh, you bet. It's great to be here. I'm always happy to do this, and it's my favorite thing to do every year. We got a nice lineup of carriages. Yeah.
All right, we want to toss things over to our KEYT carriage with Ivania Montes and our colleagues. Ivania?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Buenos dias. As you can see, the parade just minutes away. This is the loading zone right here. They even have some stairs for us. So again, something super exciting. The community is ready. Now, I do want to showcase who will be on the carriage. I do have the crew right here. May see some familiar faces. We're all fiesta'd out. We all have our hats on. How are you guys feeling about today?
So good. It's always so much fun to ride in El Desfile Histórico.
Yes. And Mike, what are you looking forward to?
You know what, I just really appreciate the community making such an effort to come out here. I mean, you just don't show up, right? They've been here for walking in. It's just fun, and people are so excited. I've been talking to a lot of the community members ready to ride in this float, and it's an exciting time.
Yes, and I know now we're veterans, right? Yes. But we do have a rookie here. Don't mean to call Evan out, but Evan, this is your first desfile. What are you looking forward to?
Just the people, seeing everyone come together on such a beautiful day like today. It's such a great opportunity for all of us.
He's been smiling the whole time. He's excited.
And I think that's what's going to happen once we go out there, right? Just so much smiling, so much waving, and the community, again, just such big supporters, right, of us, but then just Spanish Days in full, which is such a beautiful thing. So we're going to be loading very soon. See if you guys can wave us down. Beth and CJ will be sending it back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Ivania. And I said we're at the base of Stearns Wharf. We're also right in front of Janine's. With that in mind, let's toss it over to John Palmentary. John.
Yes, we are at the epicenter of what is going to be one of the most exciting spots in the entire parade route here at Cabrillo Boulevard and State Street. I'm right across from Stearns Wharf and the Dolphin Fountain, but I'm also right in front of Janine's at the shore. And Allison Hardy, the owner of Janine's, once again joins us. Allison, you have put on all these decorations. What did you bring out this year?
Well, this year we brought out some horses. I don't know if you can see them, but we thought, celebrate the horses. That's growing up in this town. My favorite part of the parade are the horses coming through.
How'd you enjoy this as a little girl?
Oh, yes. I can remember the flamingo dancers, all the dancing, all the music, and people coming together to gather, familiar faces you haven't seen in a long time, bringing community together. We are so happy.
You have some decorations too that create like those photo spots you would get at like at other places where you could have a memory. What did you put up for your photo op?
We put our traditional picket fence. I don't know if you can see it, but right here and right there, people can take a photo and remember the Fiesta. I think this is the 101st year of the Fiesta, yes. So we want people to create memories and gather and celebrate some good in life.
That's great. Thank you so much. Allison Hardy from Janine's here in the corner of State and Cabrillo. Thank you so much. We'll see you all weekend long for our coffees and lattes and our croissants and everything. Let's take a quick look at everybody that's out here ready to go for Fiesta, for the parade. Look at that in front of Stearns Wharf, and all the way down the street they're going to be going down to Calle Cesar Chavez, the finish line, and I understand it's exceptionally full on that end of the parade route this year, so a lot of people are coming down to get a good seat and enjoy this fabulous parade here on State Street. I'm John Palmentary. We're going to look around for some more people to talk to before the parade gets here.
All right, John, thank you so
John.
much. And Allison said it so well, celebrating good things in life. This is something that's been celebrated here in Santa Barbara for generations. Lots of history, lots of culture. David, you know about this firsthand as well.
And a lot of memories.
Yes.
One of those important things about Fiesta, the memories, from the kids to the adults, neighbors, friends, everyone comes together. It's a special time of year, and Old Spanish Days Fiesta really celebrates the heritage, the culture, and our traditions. In fact, history is a very special part of Old Spanish Days Fiesta. Mariachis. The sounds of Fiesta. Historic, iconic, and classic. Dance. It's been a big part of our Old Spanish Day celebrations since the very first community-wide fiesta in 1924. The memories. From children to adults, from families to neighbors. Every year we come together in community. Old Spanish Days is full of history. Fiesta honors the culture, the traditions, and the way of life of early California, the Rancho period. It was a special time, and Fiesta continues to be a special event for the entire community. The early years, the parade, the horses, the rodeo, the dance, the mercado. Here at the Santa Barbara Historical Museum, the story of our early Santa Barbara families and the entire history of Fiesta is being carefully preserved. A recent effort to save the vast Santa Barbara News Press archives, including extensive coverage and photos of Fiesta, was successful. Thanks to this effort and the contributions of many, volumes of news press editions dating back generations are now housed in the Historical Museum's Gled Hill Library. These archives reveal and keep alive all of our Fiesta memories. As part of this year's Project Fiesta, highlights of the news press collection are on full display in the museum's main gallery. The exhibit showcases the museum's fascinating news press Fiesta collection. These archives reveal and keep alive all of our Fiesta memories. Year after year and decade after decade, Old Spanish Days Fiesta continues bringing our community together in a special way. We dance, we sing, we enjoy, and we continue to make Old Spanish Days Fiesta memories. And a special thank you to the Santa Barbara Historical Museum, their Executive Director, Dacia Harwood, the entire team for saving that collection and keeping alive our history through all of the Fiesta memories.
It's a great collection,
It's
too.
a beautiful,
It really is.
just incredible. And speaking of all the different memories over the years, over the decades, Tom, you are pretty much stage zero, ground zero with the Santa Barbara Carriage and Western Art Museum for this parade with all the carriages and horses.
Well, you bet. I've been there 30 years this year, and we have a great lineup today in the parade. We have 20 wagons coming out of the museum. There's a total of 27 wagons coming in the parade, and it's going to be just fantastic. We have something new coming in the parade that we haven't had in the parade for years, a Yellowstone-type wagon that has great history to it.
Okay, and as you can hear, the parade is making its way down Cabrillo Boulevard. We can actually see the banners starting off the front of this miles-long event right now with Niños de las Flores making their way down.
All right, for the 76th consecutive year, please welcome Los Niños de las Flores, and also known as the official ambassadors of Old Spanish Days. They go everywhere. They have such a busy week. There are 112 children, ages 6 to 18. It's very rewarding for them and for the community because they stop by 20 local retirement homes spreading Fiesta cheer, handing out flowers, and you'll hear them all around town during Fiesta week.
And I love that we have girls and boys now.
And that started a few years ago in the original name Flower Girls, and then with the young, youthful men there, the name was updated to Los Niños de las Flores, and they're so busy. From the airport to the police station, the fire station, and senior homes throughout this community, they bring that fiesta joy to everyone, and they do it every year.
I always ask, how many miles do they walk and dance, David? What do you think throughout Fiesta?
Well, I would say definitely more than 10, but they're everywhere. And they put smiles on the faces of everyone. And the committee, led by Sarah Brewer, Cristina Cabral, Elva Cosio, Missy Pulido, they do so much to coordinate all of these youngsters, and it's really so nice to see them.
And the kids just love it. You can see the smiles on their faces.
Absolutely.
It's just so much fun to watch the kids.
This year there are about 112 of them between the ages of 6 and 18, and some of them are really sad when they age out,
Yeah.
All right, we want to move on now to the Spirit of Fiesta and her court. Natalia Trevino, followed by her court of dance friends. She is 16 years old. She will be an 11th grader this fall.
Natalia has been gracing our stages. We saw her on opening night at the Old Mission, Santa Barbara, during Fiesta Pequeña. She's 16 years old. She dances in such an elegant style. She's been such a positive part of Fiesta 2025.
And incredible, she has been dancing flamenco since the age of 2. Her parents must be so incredibly proud.
So many of our dancers start at such a young age, and for her, what a highlight to be leading this 2025 El Desfile Histórico.
And she seems to have a really fun chemistry with the Spirit of Fiesta this year. Those two really seem to get along.
You're so right. The Spirit of Fiesta and the Junior Spirit, yes, they've worked very well together.
They do.
All right, we want to move on now to the Long Beach Mounted Police, the Kings County Sheriff's Posse, Combined Honor Guard. They join us each year. We are so honored to have them be part of this as well.
You bet. They got a nice bunch of horses here, and they've traveled a long way to come to all these parades that they come to.
They formed back in 1935. This is their 90th year riding in parades throughout the U.S. and also in Canada.
Yeah, and they're all riding Palomino horses too, and if you look at the tack, how wonderful some of that stuff is. Bowling saddles, a lot of silver.
Talk a little bit more about what we're seeing with the tack. What is decorating these horses? Silver and leather.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And nice and clean, nice and polished. They're all well turned out.
All right, and please join us in welcoming this year's El Presidente of Old Spanish Days, Fritz Ohlenberger, and his lovely wife of 53 years, Gretchen. Fritz has been on the OSD board of directors since 2012. In addition to having served on numerous committees, he is probably best known for his amazing Fiesta photography. Goes back many, many years. Always loved seeing Fritz over the years, especially when we'd start setting up for the parade, Pequeña. He's always there with the camera.
And as past Presidente David 2023, you know a bit about the outfit he's wearing.
Yeah.
Yes, Fritz has done so much for Fiesta. The Presidente has such a leadership role during Fiesta Week. I think his calendar said he had more than 40 appearances as El Presidente. We know Fritz from behind the lens. His camera has captured the memories of so many, and I'm sure Fritz and his family are going to be full of memories after riding in this El Desfile Histórico as El Presidente 2025.
And many of his relatives riding as well. And that is what's common about this, making memories.
And his wife, Gretchen, always with a smile. Yes. She's by his side all the time. We've seen them year after year, and it's such a pleasure and an honor to have them representing Old Spanish Days this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're riding a pretty fashionable vehicle there. It's called a barouche, and that's used by used by pretty fashionable people. It's vis-a-vis, they face each other.
What does it say on the outside of it? Foley? Oh, it's the Foley Burke you were saying. Okay.
Yeah, this is a circus wagon. The kids from the
It's
rodeo
passing us
usually
now.
riding
Okay.
this. And
I'm jumping ahead of myself.
And this wagon, the circus wagon, actually has the grandkids and the children of Fritz. They've come from all over the country to be here to celebrate and to participate in Fiesta 2025 with El Presidente Fritz.
They've traveled from Encinitas, Denver, Arvada, Colorado, celebrating Fiesta here. Again, this is a generational thing, bringing up so many memories for so many people. Moving on now to Zareth Mini Therapy Horses. This is another favorite. Provides therapy to patients and loved ones with her miniature horses Nobel, Bliss, and Shiloh, Zareth Alvarado, and all of her horses. Look at these.
Oh, the kids gotta love that.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful. Look how sweet. Tom, tell us about the disposition, if you will, of these types of horses.
yeah, these little ponies, you know, they breed a lot of them over in San Ynez Valley over there on Alamo Pintado, and they're quite cute, and people like to take them into their house too, but they're mostly for outside. But they're nice to be around, and they're sure good for the kids.
3 of them. They're not small enough to be okay in our backyards in the city, are they, David?
I don't know about that, but what's so special to see them is Fiesta's all about the kids. And to see ponies at a day that is so much equestrian, it's a special moment.
It really is.
All right, next we've got the Santa Barbara High School Alumni Float. Now, the association was actually created back in 1975 to advance the interests and the welfare of Santa Barbara High School and its students, staff, and alumni. We provide educational scholarships. This is what they're saying. Support reunions, allocate monetary assistance to classroom projects, grant awards, beautify the campus, and preserve the history, which we love with this parade, and the archives at the school.
Yeah, since I was a Don, I get to say it first. Once a Don, always a Don.
There you go.
That's right.
And as a Don myself, I get to say it again. Once a Don, always a Don.
And this is a really special one, celebrating 150 years.
150 years. It was one of the first high schools in all of California.
Oh, I love the spirit. All right, and following up, backed by popular demand, award-winning alumni marching band. These students have practiced diligently all summer long, making sure to join us here today. And the marching band appreciates all of your support, looks forward to many opportunities to represent alumni marching band in the future. Alumni, excuse me. Please consider supporting them year-round. This is a sound that we love to hear during El Desfile Histórico. La Viva! Viva la Fiesta!
We're gonna listen in for a few seconds.
It's Don's.
All right.
It's Don's.
So much spirit that they span over 2 floats.
Yeah.
There's a big contingent, a special year for Santa Barbara High School, 150 years. The music, the bands, the alumni, the whole community that's part of Santa Barbara High School has come together for this year's parade.
Even the Jeep towing him is old. That's an old World War II era Willys Jeep right there. That's pretty cool.
It's definitely a day of history.
It is.
I have to say, I was going to say weather-wise, it's just beautiful. It's a little breezier with that fog bank, keeping things nice and cool, a lot of sunshine. Couldn't ask for nicer weather. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching El Desfile Histórico live from Cabrillo Boulevard.
On News Channel 3.
Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara would like to thank its Fiesta 2025 Platinum sponsors. Giordano's, celebrating 110 years. Seaward Ranch. Whittier Trust. The Wood Claessens Foundation. U.S. Bank. KEYT News Channel 3. And a special thanks to Old Mission Santa Barbara and the City and County of Santa Barbara.
And welcome back. You're watching El Desfile Histórico Live 2025 from Cabrillo Boulevard. Beautiful afternoon down here at the beach.
And CJ, David, Tom, one of the things we love about this, of course, people traveling from all across the country to be here, and that includes Rancho Arroyo from San Bernardino. The Charros from the Rancho Arroyo continuously participate in different parades that really highlight all of their skills and equestrian abilities.
And the Charros are from rural Mexico. They're the Vaqueros, and they're known for their horsemanship. And we'll be talking more about them throughout the parade.
Beautiful horses, Tom.
Yeah, they are nice horses.
All right, next we have the 2025 Junior Spirit of Fiesta, Victoria Placencia, accompanied by Mayor Randy Rouse. Every year, a Spirit and Junior Spirit of Fiesta are selected from many participants who dedicate years to performing and dance. We welcome our 2025 Junior Spirit of Fiesta, Victoria. She's 9 years old and attends Oak Valley Elementary School.
And so much talent. Tell us about the carriage they're riding in, Tom.
Yeah, this is we'll call Malord, and it's an Italian-made vehicle, and you can see the influence that it has on Brewster, who was one of the famous carriage makers in the United States here, and they've ridden in this carriage several number of years, and it's been used in the parade for many, many years. I have some pictures of it from the 1940s, and we've done some little restoration on it, but you know the fine line between restoration and preservation, where we like to keep them as they were.
Sure.
And it's so fitting that the mayor is riding with the Junior Spirit, because nobody has a better Santa Barbara spirit than Mayor Randy Rouse.
That's absolutely right.
That's right.
All right, following up with the Grand Marshals in today's parade, sisters Marta Babson, Henrietta Forick. Marta was the 1965 Spirit of Fiesta, and of course she's on board of the CAMA and trustee of Santa Barbara Museum of Art.
These two sisters have done so much over the last few years for Fiesta. Last year in the parade, they had their automobile dressed up so elegantly with a variety of flowers. It was almost like we were watching the Rose Parade. And this year, Fritz Ohlenberger, the El Presidente, selected both of them this distinguished honor of being the Grand Marshals in the 2025 El Desfile Histórico. Henrietta and Marta, you've done so much. We're so happy and honored to have you in this parade as our Grand Marshals.
And of course, Henrietta, former director of UNICEF and the U.S. Mint. She is a sailor, a collector of antique, wholesome automobiles, as well as a lemon and avocado rancher here in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, definitely. This vehicle here is a Victoria made by Brewster, and again, you know, Brewster was one of the most elegant carriage makers in the United States at that time, and they were owned by like the Rockefellers and the DuPonts and the Astors in them, and they were well-to-do people that had these carriages.
You can tell they're enjoying every bit of it.
Yeah, they were asked one time if Brewster was a Tiffany of carriages, and Brewster said, no, Tiffany is the Brewster of jewelry.
Well said.
All right, representing the state of Mexico, Cielito Lindo Divas, an elegant group of women ages 36 and up. They're proud to present, and I could try this, but I wouldn't do it justice. So, David, I want you to... They're proud to present...
Carnaval de Chimalhuacan.
See, that's why I had David say.
And the folkloric groups are such an important part of our Fiesta celebrations. We see them on the steps at the Old Mission. We see them here in the parade. The folkloric dance of Mexico, folklorico, is actually different from the different regions of Mexico. There's a style from Veracruz, a style from Sinaloa, a style from Jalisco, and it's really colorful, and it's really vibrant and energetic.
And I love that they're rooted in satire. This celebration reflects the grandeur and irony of the 19th century European ballroom dances held during Emperor Maximilian's reign.
And they're definitely colorful. I love that.
And Folklorico has its roots early on when the Spanish came and introduced their style of dance. And we see sometimes some of the indigenous outfits on some of the participants and some of the groups. And it's a style that is really a fusion of the Spaniards that came and brought their European style with those people that had been here in the Americas before the arrival of the Spanish.
They're just beautiful, so well embroidered, hand-embroidered, sequin-adorned dresses.
And next we have the De La Guerra wedding entry. Represents an actual event that took place in 1836 when Anita De La Guerra, daughter of Don Jose De La Guerra, Comandante of the Presidio, married Alfredo Robinson. And I'm sure you know something about this too as well, David.
This wedding party went on for days. In fact, there's a mural depicting it on the second floor of the Santa Barbara courthouse, the Fandango, in front of the Casa de la Guerra. And really the De La Guerra family was extremely important, not only in Santa Barbara in the early 1800s, but also throughout California. Don Jose de la Guerra was the last comandante at our Presidio, and following the end of the Presidio and mission system, they made him the sindicato, the treasurer, to go around the state and collect taxes. And his son ended up being a senator. So we see the De La Guerra family, originally from Novales, Spain, coming into Mexico where his uncle was, then into Santa Barbara, and then continuing later in the U.S. period after the U.S. came out to the West Coast and Santa Barbara became part of the United States.
An entire town invited to the wedding.
Yeah,
I love it.
That is fun. And make it, not needless to say, it's legendary.
It sure is.
Yes.
Tom, what types of horses are they on?
Yeah, they're riding some thoroughbred, crossbred horses there, and you know, it's the art of riding is keeping you, having the horse between you and the ground.
And a thoroughbred. Is that correct?
There's big thoroughbreds and some standardbreds in there.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful
Very
horses.
nice horses.
How many horses total in today's parade, Tom?
You know, I would guess probably about 400, you know, but including the charro horses.
Okay, and that leads us to the next group. Grupo Charro Los Compadres, Cielito Linda Divas, Santa Barbara's 101st anniversary parade entry. Representing the state of Mexico, Cielito Linda Divas. I love how they go back around for another round of it, right?
Yeah, I guess, you know, these charro horses are very nice horses. They're riding, you know, like I said, Andalusians or crossbred horses.
And it's really interesting, we're seeing a blending of the De La Guerra wedding party with the charro group that's coming up from Mexico. So we see California, Alta California, Santa Barbara coming together, mixing with the charro group. And it's really what Santa Barbara is all about. Santa Barbara, a blending of cultures since the very first days of this town. It continues today, and the charro group, their music is lively, upbeat, and the charros, they use that name for individuals that compete in a charreada, which is similar to a rodeo. They're very, very great with horsemanship and also the music. And let's listen to the mariachi for a moment.
I love it. People are singing along. You can hear everybody out in the audience singing along with it. That was the right time to stop.
Is it my imagination, or has the crowd grown since the parade started? I mean, we're 10, 12 people deep now on both sides. It's a beautiful turnout of Santa Barbara's community. And again, people from all across the country joining us for today's historic equestrian parade. We want to welcome now our Santa Barbara Chumash Brotherhood of the Tomo. A simple day in a village near the waterfront, enjoying a day of sun and music.
And the Chumash are one of those legendary native communities here in the United States. Here along the coast, the Chumash, Their area stretched from just north of San Luis Obispo to Malibu. They were one of only 4 seafaring native communities found from Alaska to Chile, and we see the tomol, the boat that they used to use to cross our channel to go to the islands and back. They're legendary for the tomol. They're legendary as a seafaring native community, and we are so honored at Old Spanish Days to have the Shumash in our parade on this Friday of Old Spanish Days Fiesta 2025.
It's fun to see how the crowds here are reacting to the various floats making their way down Cabrillo Boulevard. And you've got some incredible roping with the charros and some fancy footwork as well, Tom, with the group that's just passed by us.
Yep.
It must take a long time to specially train those horses.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, you know, they're well turned out. The horses are nice and fat, and they're well groomed and
well taken care of.
And they're expensive horses. You know, they're not just regular riding horses.
And looking at the Brotherhood of the Tomo float, all of these floats are built from a base up.
They start with a flat float bed. Everyone then has to add their rails, the theme of the float, the flowers, the look, the costumes, the people, and the Shumash every year, under the direction of Frank Gutierrez, come and really participate in a great way.
All right, so we have a float. This is the walking entry. Celebrate all of Old Spanish Days past spirits and junior spirits of Fiesta.
And this is really a fun float. They came together last year, all of the spirits. The first spirit, 1949, Leah Parker. The tradition continues ever since then, and every year a spirit is chosen. And past spirits have come together to participate, and it's really that celebration of our heritage, continuing to live and have Fiesta memories that really makes this annual celebration so special.
You know, it's really fun too with Pequeña. We get to see a lot of the past spirits and junior spirits come together. They have a camaraderie over the years when they have that in common. It's a bond that they have.
And many of them participate in the same dance studios. And we see junior spirits later becoming spirits. Yeah. We see them combining with sisters, and Jack Harwood, the first male spirit in 2023, his brother Skylar is up and coming as well. So it's the female dancers, now the male dancers that are spirits, and this tradition continues in such a great way.
And in many ways taking over studios when the time comes. We're seeing that happening too.
And we've seen that recently, and it's so important when people give back. And these past dancers that have gone on to professional careers, Timo Nunez, Jocelyn Contreras, coming back to this community and teaching the younger dancers what they've learned. It's a tremendous asset for our community.
Yeah, the skill set is absolutely extraordinary. All right, we'd like to now welcome the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office Mounted Enforcement Posse. It is a unit that is sworn law enforcement staffed by the men and women of Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office.
And the unit provides law enforcement services throughout Santa Barbara County. You'll find these deputies patrolling county parks, city streets, open spaces, and special events, just like this one.
What are they riding today, Tom?
Yeah, another great group of horses there. They're a mixed breed of horses there. It looks like there's some quarter horses in there, and they, of course, like to ride palominos. And they have some crossbred horses over there at the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department. They have some draft crosses that are thoroughbred horses bred to draft horses. And they make for a nice horse for the riding that they do.
They sure do. Beautiful to look at. We also want to welcome the Santa Barbara City Council, our elected officials riding on a historic carriage. Tom, what is that? Viva la Fiesta!
And next we have Los Californios, have been participating in the Fiesta Parade continuously since the 1970s and is led by locals Steve Golis and Jeff Stone for many years. The group originated with John Fire Cochran.
It's a group of local ranchers and friends of cowboys and cowgirls throughout the Tri-Counties. They participate in many events. They love Fiesta. and all that it brings to our town. We have past Fiesta presidents that ride along with numerous dignitaries. Very proud that they continue this tradition each year.
Yeah, this is a great group. They're well turned out too. You know, they come. There's some Santa Barbara trail riders in there, and some Los Potros riders, and some, you know, just from all the riding groups that like to get together and do this kind of riding. They have a great time out there, and the horses are nice and broke. And here you go. We got some coming behind us here.
CJ David.
How are you, Steve? Always a pleasure to have you guys.
Beautiful to see. That's a nice turnout. You can tell they love it.
Certainly the loudest group of the bunch so far. Turned around, I had a mane right on my shoulder.
Okay, next we want to welcome the St. Barbara Float, Reina Del Mar Parlor 126, Native Daughters of the Golden West, selecting this year's member, Julie Romero Hathaway, to portray St. Barbara.
And this is a big tradition. Our channel, our city, our county, the mission, the Presidio, all named after St. Barbara. This year, Julie Hathaway Romero is a descendant of the Romero family, one of the prominent families, the Soldados, that were at our Presidio that was founded in 1782. The Native Daughters of the Golden West, Parlor 126, Reina del Mar, has selected St. Barbara every year, and she graces our events. We saw her on the steps at the Mission. Now in our parade, Julie Hathaway Romero has represented this town so well, has represented St. Barbara so well, and has represented our history in a very big way.
And she's riding in a 1946 Willys Jeep. I just had to throw that out there too.
What is it?
A favorite. A 1946 Willys Jeep.
Oh, that already went past us.
Okay, CJ, you go ahead.
I saw it. Okay, next we have Rosal Ortega Adult Flamenco. Now, their mission is to provide high-quality flamenco dance lessons that inspire and empower students to achieve their full potential.
And flamenco dance, of course, a powerful art form that transforms lives, passion, culture, and community. Rosal Ortega Adult Flamenco, welcoming space to grow, laugh, and to shine. And talking about all of these different floats, we have more than 50 entries this year, and we saw David Bolton yesterday, along with others at your Carriage Museum, Tom, working on a float. He is actually leaving us temporarily to join one of the special historic floats.
David never stops. He's always on the move.
And I think with the floats, when you see the floats go by, you know, they're made in the parking lot of the Carriage Museum, and the public's welcome to come by and take a look and see what's going on with these people. Come down there and, you know, their own time building these floats, and that's a whole lot of fun.
It's a community treasure.
You bet.
Really, and year-round you're open, and you have so many of these beautiful saddles, carriages, obviously, that people can come and see. And,
with the Carriage Museum, you bet. Yeah, we love
gorgeous.
visitors.
Okay, we'd like to also now put the spotlight on the Growing Mind Farm, where the mission is to cultivate a vibrant and inclusive community through hands-on education and local agriculture for children throughout Santa Barbara County. And their central mission is the belief in the importance of animal welfare and rescue. So all the animals on their farm are rescue animals, each with a unique story and purpose where they play a vital role in our education programs.
Now, Tom, before the parade started, you were telling me about the work you guys did to, maybe restore is not the right word, but you guys were upgrading. What would you say, improving a certain carriage? Is this it? You said it was yellow.
Doing some restoration.
Restoration
Yeah,
work.
doing some restoration of some.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt you briefly because these are our colleagues, our News Channel KUAT colleagues joining us here.
Yeah,
We have Mike Clan, Scott Hennessy, Evan Vega, and Ivonia Montes. What are they riding in, Tom?
This is a Studebaker, and it's called a Bronson
Viva la
wagon.
Fiesta!
It's the inspiration for the Woody wagon, and Brewster made them first time. And
okay, we're gonna. I'm sorry. We have a microphone on the carriage too, so we're gonna hear from them, and we'll hear more.
You bet.
Sorry, Tom. How are you all doing over there? Here it comes.
I mean, they're news people. You got to give them a microphone.
We're having so much fun. The weather's perfect. I mean, we all have our hats on. I think we're enjoying ourselves, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a cascarones cracked around here somewhere. If I'm lucky, we'll see.
Careful what you ask for.
So great to see everyone. The streets are lined with smiling people all up and down. Just a great time.
We'll pass it back to you guys.
All
Thank
right.
you guys.
You
Great
look
job at
beautiful and
Bikini, by the
handsome.
way.
Thank
Yes,
you.
beautiful job. You all look so nice in that. Tom, I'm sorry I interrupted you because this is another.
No, that's quite all right.
All right.
Yeah, this
Great to
is
see
one that's
those
had a
guys
little
outside the
restoration on
newsroom.
it too.
All right.
You know, just a little cleaning up. But you know, again, it was a gentleman's sporting carriage.
All right.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching El Desfile Histórico live on News Channel 3. We'll be right back.
Con permiso. Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara would like to thank Fiesta 2025 gold sponsors. Santianez Band of Chumash Indians. The Benson Foundation. Santa Barbara Zoo. Cal Private Bank. And Cox Communications.
Welcome back. We're coming to you live from the 101st anniversary of El Desfile Histórico, Santa Barbara's historic equestrian parade along Cabrillo Boulevard. I'm Beth Farnsworth, joined by CJ Ward, Tom Peterson. Beautiful day for this.
Beautiful day, yeah. We got a little bit of fog moving in, breezy, but it's a great beach day. All right, next we have Rancho Jimenez J, a traditional equestrian group led by Santa Barbara local Abdon Jimenez, known for their beautifully trained Andalusian horses and authentic charro attire. The group is dedicated to preserving the rich heritage of the charro, Mexico's classic horseman, through the art of riding, roping, and showcasing dancing horses.
And Tom, we were talking earlier that this is your museum, Santa Barbara Carriage and Art Museum, is staging ground. These horses are phenomenal.
Yeah, they're very, very nice, and they're call them dancing horses. What they're doing right now, they're trained to do that. And you know, again, these Andalusians and these Frisian crosses and some of these other horses, again, quite expensive, and they take good care of them. You look at their manes and tails; they're nice and clean.
Rancho Jimenez J has participated in Old Spanish Days in our parade for more than 11 years, and they ride in parades across California. And the members come from Santa Barbara, Carp, Santa Maria, Oxnard. Let's listen a little bit more to the music.
Yeah, they sure respond to that. They respond to the music.
Next we have Santa Barbara Mariachi Festival, a non-profit organization dedicated to promoting and preserving the tradition of mariachi music and directing its revenues to provide scholarships that help further the education of Latino students.
And since 1995, the Santa Barbara Mariachi Festival has awarded close to $1 million in scholarships to Latino students on Central Coast. They do wonderful, wonderful work. Always an honor to have the same groups back year after
year. Yeah.
Tom, what's your favorite part of this parade? From the museum on to the whole Cabrillo Boulevard. What's your favorite part?
Yeah, the Carriage Museum, has been around for 50 years.
Sure.
And like say, I was been there 30 years, but we encourage visitors. We've got a lot of things to see at the museum. Lots of saddles and bits and spurs, a lot of them.
Sorry.
From Santa Barbara County that have been here for quite a long time. A lot from the Spalding collection at Tecolote Ranch. We're going to be doing a history of Tecolote Canyon on September 12th at the museum. And that should be quite interesting because at that time they were drilling oil at Elwood Beach.
These are really some spectacular floats coming our way, and some of these we do see year after year. How long does it take when you first start opening up for people to start decorating? How long does it take for these groups to decorate these floats?
Some of them only spend a couple of weeks, but they send quite a few people, and then there's a few of them that they'll spend almost a month, doing the decorating.
All right.
So they kind of come in and out, and they start and they come and. They have a lot of fun doing it.
They sure do. This is a popular, fun group, Santa Barbara County Firefighters. They serve, of course, the citizens across Santa Barbara County and have since 1926.
And these firefighters respond to fires, medical emergencies, natural disasters, water rescues, urban search and rescue, and much, much more. And they're proud to be here representing more than 200 firefighters in Santa Barbara County.
And they're wonderful, and a wonderful addition on a really hot day when we have hot parades each year. They bring out the hoses.
Yeah, I was about to say, sometimes you can't tell if it's confetti or water. But
there's one of them. Here it comes.
No, there's a little water. Okay, I got a little spray right there.
Cooling people down.
Yeah.
That they're behind you, hard to see.
Oh, there we go.
People love Fiesta. People love Fiesta. Nice to see you. There's nothing like a little confetti.
I opened up my mouth to warn you guys, and I got a mouthful of it.
You got a mouthful of confetti. That's what it's all about, CJ. Right. We also have the Lobero.
Yeah, this is a nice carriage too, and it came from San Marcos Ranch, right over the top of the hill.
That's beautiful. Now that's behind us is Lobero. We want to move over now to Peace Be With You, capturing the spirit of Fiesta. That's the theme of this year's Fiesta celebration. It's the annual ongoing aspiration, all who celebrate Fiesta, to capture that spirit. Peace be with you. Capture the spirit.
And it captures something of beauty and inspiration, a momentary flash of photography, or an interior awareness. It's an awesome revelation to have that which astounds us, goodness and grace.
Coming behind us is the mission float with Father Larry, many of his brothers and sisters from old Mission Santa Barbara.
Yeah, that's another float they spend a whole lot of time building every year. They save a lot of the parts from the previous year and store them somewhere, and then they bring them out and put it together, and there's water flowing in there. I don't know if you can see it from here.
We almost got hit by a cascarone, just a few feet short. Hi, viva la fiesta to you.
Recognize a lot of folks on that float.
Got a lap full of confetti.
Yes.
And you've got a mouthful of confetti.
Yeah,
okay. You got a little confetti too. I love it.
I got an earful.
We'll have it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
No, this is the best.
All right.
All right.
Next, a group of charros who are very family-oriented and who enjoy riding together and going out to parades overall, having a great time with family and friends. Hijos de Villa.
We'll welcome them to our parade today. So grateful that they're here doing their fancy footwork as well with their beautiful horses. More Andalusian? What type of horses, Tom?
Yeah, another nice bunch of horses. You know, these guys, there's some mixed breeds in there. There's a paint in there, and there's some Andalusians and some quarter horses in there. But, you know, all these horses need to be ridden all the time. It's not that you just let them sit there for a couple weeks and decide to come to a parade.
And same for these saddles being used. You have a special humidor that you keep a lot of these saddles in,
yes.
correct?
Yeah, these are special charro saddles, and they're supposedly a little more comfortable than a regular Western saddle. They have a little bigger horn.
Viva la fiesta! Viva la fiesta! You know, it's been several years that we've had this parade coming down Cabrillo Boulevard rather than State Street.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful backdrop with the ocean behind. People really enjoying it. Santa Barbara South Coast Chamber of Commerce now marching its way down Cabrillo Boulevard.
Now, they're honored to be riding in El Desfile Histórico, representing such a long-standing tradition here in Santa Barbara. Your Chamber of Commerce supports businesses on the South Coast with advocacy, networking, and promoting the community. Stop by one of the visitor centers and say hello.
This is an unusual looking...
Yeah, you know, a couple of the vis-a-vis there, and another wagon coming up in the back. There is a grain wagon. That was a grain wagon coming up, was donated by Ralph Hughes, a former board member of the Carriage Museum. That was another wagon that was restored by the Clampers, a group here in Santa Barbara that's helped out the museum quite a bit over the last few years.
Now, is all this restoration work done at the museum, Tom? It is here on the campus.
Yeah.
And you guys probably bring in experts, people, or do you guys just know, you have people in-house that just know how to do that stuff?
You know, they take a lot of direction from us. They spend a lot of time doing it and do a really nice job. We've had a couple wagons restored by Hanson Wheel up in Electric, South Dakota, a couple of mud wagons, and then the Tecolote wagon. That was done by professionals. But the Clampers have done a great job helping us out with several wagons. They've done a real...
I mean, really, if you haven't been down to the Carriage Museum, you've got to go down there. It really is a beautiful venue.
Yeah, you can spend some time down there, and we can give you a tour if you'd like sometime,
You know, sometimes, Tom, we see people bring their horses into the ocean at the end of the parade. Is that something that's a good thing? Horses enjoy that or no?
Yeah, if the horse wants to do it, it's funny if you've never done it, of course, and you don't ride and you go in the ocean, you're sitting on the horse and the waves coming in and out. It's a weird sensation, but, and some horses don't mind doing it, but a lot of horses don't want anything to do with it, too.
Looks like it would be a nice cool down.
All right, next we have one that always seems to rock the place. This is Garcia Dance Studio celebrating 28 years, and under the direction of Laura Garcia, the 86 Spirit of Fiesta. The studio has won many awards and trophies, including first place for the Santa Maria Elks Rodeo and Lompoc Flower Festival Parade.
Yeah, I think if they're giving out ribbons for, who having the best time on a float, I think it's this group right here. And this is about every year they do this,
I think there's a little seismic activity with this group, right? You can feel
you can get a little seasick on it.
It's pretty flashy this year, too,
isn't it? It sure is. So much energy, so much enthusiasm. It's all coming through all the different areas of our community. We love
definitely.
it. All right, we got Rancho El.
Yeah, they got the crowd going too.
Yes, they sure do. A riding ranch, family riding ranch coming up, participating in Fiesta since 2005. The Charo group consists of family members dancing their beautiful horses. They do this as a hobby and they enjoy this family tradition each year participating. Rancho El Justiciero. Beautiful dresses on these women.
Yeah, all the people get dressed up for this too, they and bring their horses out for this nice parade.
Historical Museum, of course, inviting people to visit their historic museum. It holds the largest collection of old Spanish days historical materials, of course, including photographs, posters, costumes, so much more, dating back to 1924. It is a vital part of our community and has gone to great strains to save so many wonderful historic documents, photos, and all sorts of foundations of our community.
Yeah, they're super organized with their Glen Hill Library down there. That you've never been in there, but they're super organized. They have lots of history there at the museum.
And their latest exhibition, of course, Project Fiesta Santa Barbara News Press Edition, which we've done many stories on. They made the critical choice to purchase and preserve the entire archives that were held at the News Press. That includes 1 million photos of 150 years worth of news. All right, we'd like now to honor a very special part of today's parade, the past Presidentes.
Yeah, the past Presidentes of Old Spanish days. Each year, El Presidente presides over Fiesta, serving as the CEO of the organization, leading our beloved community into Fiesta. Riding in the historic carriage, we have the Los Presidentes, and we'll start with Roger Sebas from 2001.
Joanne Finari from 2011.
You bet, yep.
Barbara Carroll from 2019, and Maria Cabrera from 2022.
And Peter Georgia is on there too.
That's right.
From the Carriage Museum also, and my ex-business partner.
And past prima dama Debbie Saviz and prime past premier Caballeros Carlos Plasencia and Francisco Cabrera. And we have 2 floats with past Presidente CJ and Tom.
Yeah, the second float is the reason David left us so quickly.
Okay, David, we told you earlier he left us to go on one of these floats. He's on with the past Presidentes right now. Let's get tossed to him. David.
Beth and CJ, indeed, we're here on the Past Presidente float. This is a typical historic adobe, which would have been here during the Rancho period. And on this float, Primer Caballero Gonzalo Sarmiento from 2023, Denise Sanford, La Presidenta from 2018, Eric Davis, Presidente from 2020, his lovely wife, Angelique, Ruth Georgi, which is the wife of Pete Georgi, 1990, El Presidente, also in the front, Priscilla, 1963, St. Barbara, and Mary Louise Days, 1965, St. Barbara. This is truly a historic float. We have music from Luis Moreno, which are the early California songs. And this is really something that we're so proud of, to be able to bring a historic adobe here on this Past Presidente float. It's truly a special moment for all of us to be here. On the chair, this chair is from Sinaloa, Mexico, and on the chair, Jim Garcia, in memory of his wife, Erin Graffi de Garcia, who did so much for the history of this community, the history of Fiesta, and this float is all about history. Priscilla, 1963, St. Barbara. Tell us, this must be a special day.
This is a very special day. I've always worked on the outside of the parade. This is nice to be on the inside parade, and this is wonderful. Thank you, David.
Pete Georgi, 1990, El Presidente. Pete, you must look forward to Parade Day every year.
David, I can't believe it's been 35 years since I was El Presidente, but it's been a great 35 years. And I'd like to recognize the board of directors of the Carriage Museum who participate by bringing out all the carriages each and every Fiesta parade.
Thank you, Pete. Mary Louise Days, 1965, St. Barbara. St. Barbara is such a special component of our annual celebration.
Yes, she has been since 1926, when Reina Del Mar Parlor first had a float in the parade with St. Barbara in it, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Mary Louise. Eric Davis, 2020 El Presidente. You must enjoy Parade Day every year.
Oh, Santa Barbara's a wonderful to be alive kind of place, and this is the epitome of it. Fiesta Friday. Viva la Fiesta!
And Denise Sanford, 2018 La Presidenta. You continue to be involved. Old Spanish Days is such an important part of our community.
Absolutely. You know, giving back to our community and celebrating this amazing event with everybody, it doesn't get much better than this.
And for me, it's an honor to be with all of you, along with Gonzalo Sarmiento, Primer Caballero 2023, Rhonda Henderson, La Presidente 2017, an outrider, Beth and CJ. As our Jeep pulls forward, we are going to send it back to both of you. We will see everyone. Viva la Fiesta on behalf of Los Presidentes and also St. Barbara. Viva la Fiesta!
Viva la Fiesta, David.
Viva la Fiesta.
So glad to have this whole group together like this. This is a historic event.
Speaking of history, right? It's a parade about history. That's about as much history as you can get in one float.
Yeah, that's a good turnout for past presidents on that float. You bet.
I think this is one of the blustier El Desfile Historicos we've experienced in recent years. You've got that beautiful fog bank as a backdrop behind the Pacific Ocean, and a great turnout. Viva la Fiesta! We are followed up by the Camarillo White Horses behind the past Presidente's 2 floats. The symbol of Camarillo, originally bred by Adolfo Camarillo. Adolfo was invited to participate in the early days because of his excellent horsemanship and devotion to Santa Barbara. The breeding and parading of the horses continues with members of the Camarillo family and members of the Camarillo White Horse Association.
And those horses have a unique gene that gives them their brilliant white coats, their dark eyes, the pink skin, and light hooves. And today they're riding in memory of Adolfo Camarillo.
Beautiful horses. David, thank you for joining us, and thank you for bringing us that special moment.
And that was so fun. I went down almost to Castillo Street. I had a chance to ride on the float with past Presidentes. You mentioned Pete Georgia in 1990, Denise Sanford, Eric Davis, the past St. Barbara's on there. It was a special ride down Cabrillo, and to be able to enjoy that, to interview them, to honor our past Presidentes, to honor our past St. Barbara's, it was special for me to be there, and thanks for allowing me to be with all of you today.
The highlight for me was watching you run down Cabrillo in that outfit. That was the highlight.
50-yard dash. You did great. We're talking about the Camarillo White Horses that just passed us, also followed by the Merced County Sheriff's Posse. And they organized back in 1948. They are an all-Sterling mounted group. They serve as goodwill ambassadors representing Merced County and the state of California.
And they travel more than 3,000 miles every year statewide, and some of the most prestigious parades. They've traveled to the Rose Bowl, the Rose Parade in Pasadena, and the inaugural parades in Washington, D.C. They're all over the place. This year they were selected to ride in the presidential inaugural parade in Washington, D.C.
These horses all have such different personalities. Can you kind of, just in a nutshell, explain that to us, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. Well, they're all bred a little bit different, different moms and dads, so, and kind of their upbringing and how they're trained when they get started, and there's a whole lot of factors that go into that. But
these seem very spirited, the horses that are passing by right now.
Yeah, these look like some standard bred horses.
We've got a carriage following them up. We've got U.S. Bank.
And U.S. Bank is one of our important sponsors. And it's the sponsors that make this celebration possible so that all of the free public events can happen for our community. U.S. Bank is one of our leading sponsors this year. We have several others. Everyone together within the corporate community really deserves a big thank you. From Noches de Ronda to Pequeña to this parade, it couldn't all happen without the support of our various old Spanish Days Fiesta sponsors.
And we don't know everything they do. They do so much behind the scenes for us, so it's huge.
Another beautiful
we thank
historic
them.
carriage. This one has a special lantern on it.
Yeah, this wagon is known as the tally ho wagon, and it's used for hunting. It's high up in the air where you can view everything that's going on.
Yes, much higher than some of the other ones we've seen. Los Padres Outfitters, led by Graham Goodfield, a sixth-generation Santa Barbara, and he's been in this parade for 42 years.
Also in the wagon, we have his mom, Marilyn Goodfield, who is the lead for many local nonprofits that provide scholarships to help kids in our community go to college. That's huge.
And his dad, Lewell Goodfield, a former Commodore of the Santa Barbara Yacht Club and Fiesta parade rider since 1943. And Lou's mom, Catherine, rode in the very first parade more than 100 years ago.
Wow.
Beth, you mentioned it earlier, generations. And Fiesta is all about generations, multi-generations, and we go back multi-generations for the roots of what we celebrate. Those cultures, those traditions, and the heritage of our special community.
All right, next we have the Santa Barbara Police Activities League, or PAL, operates a no-cost teen center focused on leadership, mentoring, and academic support for youth ages 6 to 18. And they provide a safe place for the kids to grow, connect, and thrive. And as always, they're proud to be a big part of this year's Fiesta Parade.
Yeah, this is a great wagon. This has also been restored, and it was actually that color when it was actually an Army wagon.
Oh, gorgeous. This followed up by the Pobres 1. It's a beautiful 1982 mountain wagon, much newer than many that we've been looking at. It was faithfully restored by the Los Rancheros Pobres. It's a local men's horseback riding group. They began back in 1952. And they embody the customs and Western attire of early American cattle ranch hands.
And this wagon is made for rough terrain. And Tom, you probably could tell us more about it.
Yes, it's a mountain wagon, and of course it was used in Santa Barbara County to go from the Arlington Hotel to Maddie's Tavern.
Up the 154.
Yeah, up the 154. And Selin Carrillo, one of the last stagecoach drivers in Santa Barbara County, said it was one of the roughest roads he's ever been on. And this wagon was restored by Hanson Wheel in Electra, South Dakota. They're called mud wagons because they don't have doors and windows. They were lighter. They were cheaper to make. That wagon cost about $850 in about 1860s.
How comfortable were they to ride up the pass?
Oh, it was tough. They had to go up slippery rock up there, and it was a tough ride up there.
It wasn't a half-hour ride, was it?
Yeah, not like today. It took 8 hours to get over there, and people don't want to drive there today.
So, Pobres 2 following up. It's a 1897 mud wagon, and I misspoke. That was 1882, the first wagon. I said, I apologize. Mud wagon, this one here, faithfully restored as well by the Los Rancheros Pobres. It's a local men's horseback riding club. That began back in 1952.
And before any roads existed in Santa Barbara, the mail needed to be delivered by horse-drawn wagons running on the beach, especially to get around Rincon Point. A lot of old-timers remember those days. Stagecoaches were too heavy to run on the beaches, so lighter versions were designed.
Yeah, this Victoria Stables that just passed us right behind us here was Sam Stanwood's stable, and he worked for Dixie Thompson, who ran the Arlington Hotel in the 1880s.
And that's the one you were telling me about before the parade. What a history on that.
So Dixie Thompson would call Sam Stanwood and say there's some passengers down at the wharf that need to be picked up, and he'd take a wagon like this and pick them up and take them back to the Arlington Hotel.
Well, someone who's in the rental business, the Shop family from Milpas Rental. It's a family-owned business celebrating 75 years serving Santa Barbara County in the equipment rental industry. And they offer large and small equipment rentals, sales of stone, bulk material, and landscape supplies as well.
All right. Now, David, you were talking about our sponsors. Here's one of the gold sponsors, Cal Private Bank.
George Lease and Lori Lease are on the carriage representing Cal Private Bank, and George Lease has done so much in this community. He's worked for various banks in leadership and management positions, very supportive of Fiesta. And it's that kind of Fiesta spirit by our corporate community that makes everything Old Spanish Days does for these free events possible. Our community benefits, the visitors benefit, and it's the corporate sponsors that we have to once again say thank you. Thank you, George Lease, and thank you to all of our Old Spanish Days sponsors.
Cuadras Unidas del Valle de Lompoc, another Charro group joining us again. This is a 4-year team, participates in various parades. We are so happy to have them with us as well. And Manta, Maria, Lompoc, Buellton, Santa Maria, and Guadalupe. They've won 3 first place prizes. Lompoc 2, Santa Maria, 1 first place.
Congratulations. And we love that they're here today.
Yes.
The Charros are always a crowd favorite. They come here, they participate, they walk, most of them, the parade route, the musicians. They're accompanied by those on horseback. And it's the sounds that when you hear it, you really think Fiesta.
Yes.
And maybe we could spend just another moment to hear sound up full this Charro group.
I just have to say, those horses were amazing. The show they just put on.
Pretty incredible
Wow.
to see how trained they are. We want to welcome now the Navy League, Naval Base Ventura County, formed by the merger of Naval Air Station Point Mugu and Naval Construction Battalion Center, Port Hueneme, along with San Nicolas Island, providing a deep water port, railhead, and airfield. Welcome to El Desfile Historical. We're so glad you're here.
All right, next we have the U.S. Coast Guard Marine Safety Detachment, focusing on ensuring marine safety and security within the Santa Barbara area. They are responsible for a range of activities, including enforcing laws on the water, emergency response, and vessel inspection.
Yeah, they're one of the carriages from the Carriage Museum, and it kind of has a dual purpose because those seats come out, so they could use it to go to funerals and whatnot, and then to pick up supplies.
And rounding up today's ending of El Desfile Historical, and I hate to say it that way,
I know.
Santa Barbara City Fire Department committed to ensuring the safety and protection of our community, of course, all year round. And of course, so grateful to our first responders. And a lot of people grateful for them today with the cold water they bring when they're spraying hoses.
I know.
Yeah, and this steam pumper's been in the collection. It's been in Santa Barbara County since 1917. Garrett Van Horn of the La Patera Ranch purchased this at an auction in Los Angeles and used it to spray walnut trees at La Patera Ranch.
Oh, that's what it was initially used for. Okay.
And then it's been in Santa Barbara ever since then, and there's been some restoration done to it, but it was made by the Manchester Locomotive Company. It's got a number on it. It's pretty much what it is, and what a nice vehicle it is.
It is. It's a real crowd pleaser as well, especially when they ride on the wheels. David, they could have ushered you back and forth between here and there.
Where were they when I needed them?
Yeah, you can see them from 2 blocks away where they were spraying that water like that. The sad part about seeing these guys, you know what that means.
End of the parade.
End of the parade. Yeah.
Here
all
comes
good
the fire hose.
All good things must come to an end.
That is a beautiful pumper.
There he goes. David, that could have been you.
There
just
we go.
minutes ago,
Yep.
riding the wheel of the Santa Barbara City Fire
This is it. What would Fiesta be without this?
I hope they took Dramamine beforehand.
You know, we got to ask, do they practice that down at the fire station? I would
They must
imagine
have to
they do.
draw straws to see
I was
who's going to do
say, who
it.
gets a short straw or long straw? Oh, it's always so fun.
Be a little dizzy afterward.
And here's another fire hose full.
Oh, there you go!
Oh. Woo. All right. You are watching El Desfile Historical. Live
In the meantime, we're going to dry off. We'll be back in a bit.
Did any of them answer? Can you try calling the 637 number?
You get wet?
Old Spanish Days in Santa Barbara would like to thank Fiesta 2025 Gold sponsors: Lobero Theater, Community West Bank, Santa Barbara Independent, Santa Barbara South Coast Chamber of Commerce, Santa Barbara Historical Museum, Santa Barbara Airport, and UC Santa Barbara Athletics.
Another enchanting, magical El Desfile Historical in Santa Barbara's history books today. This has been a beautiful parade. Real quickly before we leave, Tom Peterson, one key takeaway from today's parade for you, a favorite.
I like to be anywhere where I can talk about the museum and talk about these wagons, and my wife will attest to that.
All right, a special gem. David, how about you?
Bringing this community together, the sponsors, Old Spanish Days, the greater community, those that watch the parade, and something very important. We created more Fiesta memories today, and that's a special thing we're all going to take away.
Absolutely. I love how the crowds grew throughout the parade today. Just a beautiful event. CJ?
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to throw it out there. I love those horses. I thought it was a great way to wrap this thing up with that last group of horses. They were just so talented. So that's my 2 cents.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. It was so much fun for us to sit down here at the beach and enjoy some beach weather. And you've been watching El Desfile Histórico 2025 live on News Channel 3.
Viva la Fiesta!
Viva la Fiesta, everybody.
Viva la Fiesta!